Vert skaters are in Baltimore at the White Marsh Mall for the 6th stop of the ASA Pro Tour. At the White Marsh Mall, Baltimore, Maryland, it's the ASA Pro Tour at the Mobile Skate Park Series. We are down to the wire. Rankings are on the line between Ty Chris, Eito Yasutoko, Takeshi Yasutoko, and Shane Yost, and they are all here. Following the X Games, it's going to be huge. Let's check it out.
The rankings are on the line, and time is running out to be the #1 ranked skater in the world. Coming into this season, Ty Chris had one goal, and that was to win gold at the X Games. All season long, he worked on his lines and even brought out a brand new trick, double backflip, and his plan worked to perfection, taking the gold medal at the 2001 X Games. Now with that under his belt, he can focus on winning the ASA World Championships and being the #1 ranked skater in the world.
With the gold at the X, Ty has been peaking at just the right time as the season winds down. With only a couple tour stops left heading into the World Championships, Ty is just getting better and better.
Now to take that gold, Ty had to unseat the reigning X Games champion, and that was Eito Yasutoko, who held that title for 2 years in a row. Coming into this season, Eito was ranked 11th in the world because he sat out of the ASA World Championships due to injury, but he has already worked all the way up to 4th place and is well within striking distance of the #1 title.
Younger brother Takeshi's really coming into his own this year, currently ranked #2. He actually held the #1 ranking briefly this season, and he hasn't been slowing down with a whole bunch of new tricks.
Last season's #1 ranked skater had some trouble at the beginning of this season, but he seems to be finding his rhythm once again. Shane Yost went back to the basics, found some high airs, and now he's throwing his biggest tricks in contests, including the 1260, and he is moving right back to the top of the rankings.
A solid bronze medal for Shane Yost at the X Games, and he has a newfound confidence. So the rankings as they stand now, Ty Chris with focus sitting in the #1 spot, but it is wide open still. When we come back, the biggest guns of all take it to the Vert. The ASA Pro Tour at the Mobile Skate Park Series is brought to you by Yoo-Hoo, America's favorite chocolate drink, skates on or skates off. By Paul Mitchell, the style in lifestyle sports. And by the White Marsh Mall in Baltimore, Maryland, an affiliate of the Rouse Company. Welcome back to the White Marsh Mall in Baltimore, Maryland. We are outside at the Vert ramp, about to get underway with the competition. 10 competitors out here, including, of course, Ty, Eito, Takeshi, and Shane Yost. Mark Engelhardt. Each one of them is going to get 50-second runs, 2 of them, and only the better of those 2 count as the final run score. And why not get kicked off with the guy who all the momentum has been following all season, Ty Chris, with a look of determination.
There's no question that he's one of the best in the world. He's also a great ambassador.
One thing also I really love about skating, when you are pro like I am, you really can bring new tricks to the inline, make really the sport progress, and help the kid. When I see a kid looking at me like with a huge smile, just to be friend with him, show him that I'm a normal guy, and to push them to try to learn. to show them how to make tricks.
I love the concept of Ty showing them how to make tricks. A lot of these things he's the only rider in the world who can perform many of these tricks. I bet there's a few guys up there on the decks who'd love if Ty showed them how to make some of those tricks, like the double backflip, but not able to land it, which is interesting because we've seen him land that thing every time he throws it. He has almost got that thing on automatic, so it is uncharacteristic to see Ty go down. Now he's just got about 10 seconds left here to finish out the run, but that's going to be very interesting now that he does not have a complete run going into the second round.
Yeah, Ty putting a little bit of pressure on himself for the second run. For Ty, Chris is never satisfied unless he lands everything to perfection. Here, obviously, going down and going down hard, losing a lot of time.
Well, in the finals, you know that you have to have a perfect run to win. So with Ato and Takeshi and Shane Yost all at this contest, Ty knows that run's not going to be enough.
And 84 is the number to beat, and Ato Yasutoko most likely will do that right here.
So he's got to stay on his feet, and he's got to fill up the full 50 seconds first. See that Ato's landing pretty hard on the coping. That makes it hard to get up as high as he'd like to be in the air. Now he's landing a little better. Missing the coping, landing high in the transition. That's the way you want to do it. But then every once in a while, I wonder if it has to do with the setup of the ramp or if he's just out of rhythm today.
Ato's always had the ability to go from the air back to the coping, then back into the air. Really creative lines. Nice little topsoil there.
It's easy to underestimate how hard that is to do, coming out of those grinds into the air. And you're right, he does that better than anyone. And how about that trick? The 1080 right into a fakey 900. And a super landing on that 1080. We've seen him throw that at every contest virtually the past couple of seasons, but that is the best landing. You can see that he's getting so much more confident. Watch how high he lands. It's so confident. He sticks both feet down perfect. And when you land high and confident like that, you can ride out of it right into another trick.
Well, his dad summed it up well. That was good, but Shane Yost hopes to take him on. Welcome back to the White Marsh Mall in Baltimore, Maryland, where there's a stadium plunked down for the ASA Pro Tour. And some of those skaters on the tour, with a lot of personality, sometimes just run rampant. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Sam Fogarty, and this is
Sean Robertson.
And we're here at White Marsh Mall doing a
Trictionary 2001.
going around the mall asking shoppers if they have any idea on skating, and we'll soon find out. Can't teach you how to skate? How about if we teach you how to dress? How's that?
Whoa. He is the man. What would you think a porn star would be? Have you ever done a porn star?
No.
No porn stars?
Quiz of the day, what is a porn star?
A porn star is where you got one foot sliding forward and the other one is behind it in a sideward position, sliding the same way. That is the porn star.
And we have a winner.
Y'all have 5 seconds to answer this question and you could win a trip around the world. What is a Bio 540? 5,
Skateboarding trick?
4, 3, 2. So close, but
Nice cigar.
what is an alley 540, Mr. Man?
Oh, he broke his arm doing an alley 540.
I'm looking for a tool on how to do an eggplant. You could help me out on learning how to do an eggplant.
No, the only thing we have are like fruit tools. Like,
Well, that would help me do an eggplant.
you might cut yourself, I doubt it.
This is an eggplant right here. All right.
Ooh, that was an eggplant. That was the best eggplant I've ever seen.
Do you know any skating tricks? You know what
I used to ride a unicycle for maybe 13 years. I tried to be a skater, but I couldn't do it. I rode
unicycle, rollerblades, just 7 wheels of difference, not too much.
Ollie.
So this is Sam Fogarty and
Sean Robertson.
signing off. and we'll catch you guys next time. See ya.
Back outside of the White Marsh Mall, onto the vert ramp, Shane Yost. He's been feeling a little bit of pressure this year because he wasn't skating his best to begin the year, but he's been focusing on trying to get his airs back.
That's the key here for Shane Yost. We've seen Ato, Takeshi, Tyke, all these guys have been blasting off. It was hard for Shane to compete without these high airs, but you can see that he's really come back this season with some big, confident airs. And it makes all those spins look so much more impressive when he's doing about 6-7 feet out. Forward 900, upside down 540. Of course, he's got more spins than anyone else. And each season, it seems like Shane comes back and works on something else. Last season was the lip tricks. He added those good lip tricks right there. You saw him come in fakie to the sole. Now he's going to alley mizu. Already we saw kind grind. So each season he adds another element to his skating. And he just keeps getting better. Keep in mind, he finished last season ranked number 1. And this season we're saying that he's even better.
That was a solid run for Shane Yost. He didn't throw his biggest trick, the 1260, but he still packed it full from beginning to end. Lots of big rotations. There's the 900-degree spin. Right now, that was good enough to put him on top with a 90.25, but still an entire round to go.
So pretty much I got lucky. I just stayed on my feet. The other guys who don't usually fall sort of had a slip, so I'm kind of lucky to be where I am.
He said it. Genuine contenders Mark Engelhardt, Tobias Bucher, and Takeshi Yasutoko all went down. Let's check out the second run when we come back. It's a packed house here at the Mobile Skate Park Series at the White Marsh Mall in Baltimore, Maryland. All here to watch their favorite skaters do their best tricks.
Hi, my name is Sven Boekers and I'm now going to show you my favorite lip trick. Okay, that was my favorite lip trick, the true spin top porn star.
Well, he's got about 300 different lip tricks, and that one happens to be his best. Mark Engelhardt, he spends most of his time in the air. 1080, fakie 900, nice little flat spin 540, and a flat spin 540 disaster revert. A solid second run, but only good enough for 7th place.
Sven Boekers, he just shared with us his favorite lip trick. Well, let's see what he does with an entire run, mixing the airs and the grinds, going right out of the 540 into the 720. There's one of those lip tricks. And there's his favorite, the true spin topside porn star. Good enough for 4th.
Tobias Bucher's known for going really big in the air and making those 1080s look so easy. But unfortunately, in his second run, had a little more trouble than his first. He sits in 5th.
Baltimore, are you ready for the showdown?
Now, Ato Yasutoko is only half a point out of first place right now. Has to pull out all the stops.
Well, in the first round, he landed his 1080. Can't land it any better than he did in the first round. Did a fakie 900 out of it. So he didn't leave himself that much room for improvement. Except for if there was one area where he could improve, it was on the airs. In the first round, he was hitting the coping a lot, and you see he's flying a lot higher in this round. So that should bring his score up. Trouble with the fakie 360.
Almost looked like he was going to go into a disaster soul.
Speaking of souls, he went soul alley-oop soul, which is a good variation that we don't see often from Ato. It means that he's serious about trying to move up in the rankings here, bringing out a lot of difficult lip tricks for Ato.
Yeah, you don't see him do as many switch-ups as his brother Takeshi.
Well, when you see Ato throwing a lot of lip tricks like that, finishing with the 1080 right into the fakie 900 again, you know that he's reaching deep. He's looking for something to move up. And he's not just competing against Shane Yost and his brother Takeshi, but he's also competing against Tyke, who hasn't even skated yet, but who fell in the first round. So he knows Tyke's probably going to bring up his score. Again, landing high enough on that 1080 to go right into the fakie 900.
91.75 bumps him up to the first spot. Now remember, Takeshi Yasutoko had a rough first run, and it is not new territory for him to outscore his older brother.
Takeshi is another big technical skater, very similar to his brother, but he has of late mixing it up. Like he brings together all levels of skating. Like he does some of the more old school tricks, mixes it up with more newer ones that he's learned. His line is really, really fluid. Once again, hitting the coping, then going back to air, spin, then back to the coping.
Oh. And that, out of character for Takeshi. Whoa! And even more out of character, I never see him express that kind of emotion.
Well, when Shane talked about Takeshi using the coping, I don't think that's exactly what he meant. It's so true that is out of character for Takeshi. Not used to seeing him display this kind of emotion, and it just shows you how competitive it's gotten up there on the vert ramp with these guys battling out. They know that they have to have perfect runs. And Takeshi, you can see the frustration coming through. But still, sucking it up and trying to throw that 1080, brand new trick for him. But there, the total frustration coming out.
So Takeshi Yasutoko, 2 tough runs in a row. That does not happen for him often. I don't think it's ever happened. You can just see the frustration, getting up, kicking the coping. 78.75 puts him in 6th position. So right now, his lowest ever finish in a competition, but Shane Yost and Ty Chris, who sit in 2nd and 3rd, right now have a chance at number 1. This is only half the game. The other half is on the street course. Be sure to tune into that as well, with Jaron Grove, Blake Dennis, Sven Bokerst, and the rest of the crew. Last year's number 1 ranked versus this year's X Games gold medalist coming up. The ASA Pro Tour at the Mobile Skate Park Series is brought to you by Corn Nuts. Hardcore snacking for hardcore skating. Corn gone wrong. By PlayStation 2 and Cool Borders 2001. Snowboard year-round against world-class pros. And for all the latest on skating, check out asaskate.com. Welcome back. It's the White Marsh Mall, Baltimore, Maryland, and a lot going on. Besides some of the world's best skating, some great music, and some fun activity. For the final runs of the day, Shane Yost. A little bit of pressure here. He knows he's capable, but he's fallen short a few times this season from the number 1 spot.
Well, remember, after the first round, Shane was in 1st place, and that was without throwing his 1260. He landed the 1260 at the X Games, and this is the first season where he's been able to even throw that thing and start landing it in contests. Last season, he would throw it, and he had to go a few times after the contest to land it. And here you go, 1260 in the middle of his run. So you see that he's getting confident with it, and he knows he has to take those kind of chances if he's going to win these pro contests against Ty Chris, Ato, and Takeshi Yasutoko.
Yeah, it's hard to put in perspective. In rollerblading on vert, certain guys have tricks that no one else can do, and Shane is the only one to even really have legitimately attempted a 1260 before.
And also, when you compare that against a double backflip, which is something the judges are going to have to do and a lot of people are going to start talking about, you have to wonder which is more difficult. Ty Chris came out with that double backflip, and it seems like it's automatic. Shane Yost has been working on this 1260 for years, and he's only just now starting to land it, only sometimes in contest.
Well, here it is. Look at how many rotations, how fast he has to go, and he landed really solidly. Enough time to just flop right over in a backflip. 94.25 puts him on top right now, which means all the pressure sits on Ty Chris's shoulders after his, well, relatively dismal first run comparatively.
Well, Ty had a fall after the first run. He fell on the double backflip, actually. So the judges are going to have an interesting job here. If Ty puts together a perfect run and lands his double backflip, well, then they've got to do exactly what we just talked about and compare the double backflip directly against the 1260. Which do you give more weight to?
Trick for trick, Ty Chris is just about perfect when he's on. He just puts together a solid run. He wastes no walls. He's got a couple of unique tricks like the gato spin and the double.
And he utilizes the entire ramp. You see how he works from one corner all the way to the other. On those grinds, he makes it from one side, and he does that better than anyone. Carving with those airs as well. You'll see him go up in the air, get upside down, and he'll carve from one end of the ramp to the other. You see him going back and forth there. Backside far fig noodle. Now he sets up with an air.
Oh,
here it is.
Yeah. It didn't look like he had enough height to take off on the double.
So after nailing this trick at the X Games, it looked like he had it automatic every time. He comes out here in Baltimore and missed the double backflip in 2 consecutive runs.
Ty brings back the T-bone air, the one that he was doing in Barcelona at the X Trials. The beautiful gato spin. He had the height on those, but he lost height. And it shows. 88.50, a little bit higher than his first run, puts him in third. He will not get the gold. Shane Yost will walk away with it. Ato gets the silver. So Ty Chris in the overall tour rankings drops a couple steps to third. Takeshi and Shane slide up. Taking a look at today's Corn Nut Sick Trick. That's it, undisputedly, the 1260 from Shane Yost. Hotel accommodations provided by the Sheraton Baltimore North, official hotel of the Mobile Skate Park Series. And a special thanks to WHFS, home to HF Festival. Also, special thanks to Rocky Talkie, the Aegis newspaper, and Evolve Board Shop. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.